Welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. I am quickshot, joined by a very tired and very relieved Jankos and grabbz after an incredibly exciting 5-game series. For the astute viewers, you may see Crowny over there, but he's in fact not there, and he is finished for the day. Thank you so much to Crownshot and Treats, who did join us on the analyst desk all day long. I'm going to turn to Jankos. I'm going to talk a little bit about Game 5. It was close. It was tense. 3 dragons apiece. It felt like the game could have gone either way. To me, did it feel that way to you?
Well, I think that there shouldn't be a Game 5. So since there was a Game 5, that was like a little bit of a banger. I think we had like a decent early game compared to maybe Game 3 or 4. And at some point we just got aced under mid tower. And after that, you know, they got Nash Drake. And at that point, we started doubting ourselves if we will win this game or not. Of course, you don't really think about it in the game, though. I mean, at that point, I was also thinking, we should just FF and just go, like, loser bracket. We don't deserve to win. Like, we are losing to Shalke. It's so disgusting. But at the same time, I mean, I think they're, like, not a bad team yet.
Was this the ace? Yeah. Is this the PTSD?
This is the ace. I mean, it wasn't even, like, that bad, right? I mean, it was terrible.
We are trying to dive for power.
Yeah,
this
I mean, okay, so
bad.
I think that, like, we misplayed this, but we also, like, overcommitted, and we got flanked on by Azirult, and, like, we just kind of stacked up for Rel, and we just all died. I believe this fight we win because Seraphine is balanced, and I'm really happy Riot didn't realize it yet, and I hope they nerf it because
32,000 healing is what Reckless did throughout.
I mean, I think that like if we probably don't have Seraphine, we probably lose this game. But then again, like we kind of would, the game would look different with a different champion.
Also, to be fair, Jankos, there was very little healing reduction on the side of Schalke. We were debating on broadcast and backstage what impact it would have had. The fight wasn't that bad, according to Jankos. grabbz, how do you read that mid-lane ace?
I mean, he was the one trying to dive, right? Even though we say 5 times in the game, we should just make him come to us. And it's, I can dive here. And he's also the kind of guy who gets angry at the team for engaging. And then in this game, he gets the idea, right? And afterwards, say, oh, my bad, it was a bad call. So I'm not surprised that he thinks this is fine. But yeah, it's just Groundhog Day. Like, we said the same thing. Like, front to back G2 is just not possible, I think.
I saw your tweet immediately after the series, grabbz. Maybe expand on a little. I think you said something along the lines that it hasn't been the greatest week of practice. Front to back team comp's not something that you guys are looking particularly good in. But over the course of the series, pretty strong victories in game 1 and 2. Then it kind of just went to hell, game 3 and 4, but still very competitive, very close. How do you read this, and what are you telling the boys when they go back on stage?
Yeah, I mean, game 3 definitely is my fault for like letting it be so loose, but we felt pretty good about the 2 wins, and then especially in draft practice was like, I want to have a Sivir game, and we're like, okay, sure, how do we have Sivir? Go a 5 pick, and like the misband didn't really matter. Like, I think we wouldn't have banned anything they picked, but ultimately, I think just our 4-5 were bad. We have Sion with a TF and Lilia, where like we said beforehand, fault off is fine.
You don't need it.
Yeah. Where like probably for the kind of pick top there, it's fine. We just pick AD on 4 and the draft is good. But instead we wanted to play around and got punished for it. Game 4 actually, I don't quite remember a lot anymore because of game 5 for so long.
It was the Vayne game. Sion into it, Darius top.
Oh yeah, I mean they got 4 kills at minute 5 already. Yep. So pretty rough game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, look, okay, so you mentioned Reckless for a brief moment. I want to announce key player of the series was Reckless. He picked up 58% of the vote. And it's interesting to me because we've spoken a lot over the years. And G2 and especially you two are a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun and jovial. But there's a very serious and somber tone after today's series. Jankos, just a moment ago, you were quite introspective, shocked, 5 games against Schalke. Maybe we just forfeit. Maybe we go losers bracket. I know it's an emotional response, right? But you know, how does this victory actually feel? Because it doesn't feel great from where I'm sitting.
I mean, I personally think it's not like that emotional. It's just that if we lose, maybe we'll get that shit together. And maybe we can you know, perform better like we used to maybe last year when we were in 2020 G2.
Yeah.
We also lost to Mad Lions, I think, the first or second round, and then same happened to Fnatic, and we actually like started playing better and better. And I feel like our scrims have been absolute. I mean, they were like 50-50. Some of them were decent, some of them were garbage. So I'm not like that unhappy with them, but I just feel like we don't find ourselves in the meta very well, and some of our drafts are absolutely disgusting still. Of course, this is his fault. But yeah, I mean, we made it. There's nothing to be happy about, though. There's nothing to be proud about. We wanted to show a dominant G2 and not this thing that was on stage in game 3, 4, 5. But at the same time, I mean, hopefully we can pick up the slack for next week. We are going to face either Mad or Rogue, which I think they are both very, very good teams that probably even are better at the meta than we are. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
He's so good at PR. Like everything he says backstage is very different what he's saying now. I'm just impressed by you, actually. But yeah, I agree that I mean, practice has been rough. I wouldn't say it's 50-50. I think we had really bad games. Not only like from the typical G2 inting fashion, but actually like just understanding the meta and being worse at the meta than Matt or Rogue are. So I think having this extra week will help us. But I think we're still like slightly disadvantaged if you want to play this style. And I think like we made the decision consciously because we can't always force a 1-3-1 style or something like very chaotic style.
Yeah.
So if this stays the way this in to MSI and we go there with not having practiced it, I think we're going to get smashed really hard. So we do it consciously and we sift through these bad weeks we had, hopefully to improve at some point. But we've seen today that there's still a lot to improve on, just how disciplined we are on engages and getting one pick and backing off. But my players are just like to fight, right? So it's hard, but I hope we get there.
I only have admiration and respect. It's a hard-fought victory. As a viewer, as a commentator, this is what I want every time, right? And I completely appreciate on your side of the table that is not the case. But the standard that you hold yourselves to individually, as a team, and as an organization, is arguably why G2 is the back-to-back champion, the most successful organization in Europe, right? Like, I can only commend it. And it is an interesting position to be in where I'm interviewing the winners of a series, yet it is still so critical.
I'm so tilted, actually, it's crazy.
Yeah, because I might make this better or worse. I'm not sure if you've heard about the monologue curse that Shoutcasters can do. And if you haven't, that's fine. But basically, whenever a team goes 2-0 up, many members of the LEC On Air Talent team have, from time to time, done a dramatic monologue. Rekkles has been the focus of several very high-profile monologues recently. And after the 2-0, I started doing a monologue. I started talking about Rekkles, started talking about G2, looking for another title, being in a position to win. And then all of a sudden, game 3 happens, you miss a ban, you int the draft, game 3 and 4. I want you to know, it's actually not grabbz' fault. I actually may have cursed you. But my power is not as bad as strong as Shox's, so it didn't cost you the series. So does that make you feel better that there's supernatural forces here holding you back? I
mean, I think if you did it for like the viewers and they hopefully appreciate that I went to 5 games and it was fun to watch, because it was not that fun to play. Yeah, sure, I mean, getting 5 practice games on stage is great. It's just maybe not the kind of way we were losing these games. But of course, I'm still glad we won, and I'm still kind of relieved. And I think these are the great games to watch, because hopefully we can like pick up the slack after.
If I could ask you both to turn back, I literally turned off all of the lights in the studio. I hijacked production. And for those fans at home, it starts with success. And success is about growth. So grabbz, like I cursed you. Like I literally did it right there.
I mean, I usually interrupt anyways, but at game 3 I blacked out, I guess. I missed the ban.
See, the
so you made it worse than usual. I think I could still have managed on my own to run it down, but yeah, please next time don't do it. Just don't.
I won't be. Sharks will be hosting next week. jankos will be hosting tomorrow. So I'm done. No more cursing. That does mean that G2 moves on to the next round. They'll face either Mad Lions or Rogue. Schalke will move down to the lower bracket, and because they're the 4th seed in the upper bracket, it means they're guaranteed to face Fnatic. So let's talk about the 2 matches. First and foremost, Rogue Mad tomorrow, and what your expectations would be, and just get some quick hits, grabbz, and jankos first.
I think both teams are closer than we would expect, probably. Still think the Rogue is favored, and I think the fundamentals are better, so I will assume like a 3-1. But I think no game will be a blowout, and I think Rogue has to show a lot as well in the drafts just to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rogue will win as well. I think that they are... Maybe they found their style, so to speak. I think they're really good in this meta, and I think that this is something they play out throughout the split as well. And they are good at it, right? They are good at front to back, and they are good at, I guess, making their bot side ahead, sacking top lane, and making sure Odwamne is good on weak side, but at the same time they get advantages mid lane, bot lane. Meanwhile, mid lane is just farming with his Azir or Orianna. Yeah. So I do think that Rogue is definitely looking strong, and I think they will beat Mad Lions.
One of the things I was doing, because I'll be casting the game tomorrow and prepping, I was looking at, I think where Rogue's strengths are also Mad Lion strengths, but I just think Rogue are stronger. That's how it feels to me. And I want to see who's going to show up. I mean, a lot of talk. Obviously, Humanoid and Larson, 2 of the mid laners that'll be popping off. Can I get you guys to predict a scoreline on who will win?
I mean, honestly, I think it's like maybe a bit too cocky because we didn't have a 3-0 this week yet. We had a 3-1, I guess, and 3-2. So I would just go with 3-0 Rogue.
I think 3-1 for Rogue.
1 Rogue as well? All right, so Rogue favored. I mean, that's what we're thinking. It was supposed to be 3-3-0s, but somebody let us down. All right, let's take a quick look. Oh, I want to get one more thing. Fnatic versus Schalke. Something we were briefly talking about while we were getting ready for this. Seeing how Fnatic looked against SK yesterday and seeing how Schalke played against you guys today, my instinct is that Schalke might even be a little bit more favored now than had you asked me before seeing those games. grabbz, what's your take on how that elimination match is going to go next weekend?
I think the difference will be that Fnatic, unlike us, will actually choose red side and gonna pick top, which makes Schalke way worse. But for us, it was a good also moment to like practice the style. Like one, they're picking style in 4 games, I think. It's not something he's fun with, but I think it's important to get the games in. Whereas Fnatic likes to pick red side, people can pick his crazy picks, and I think then Ori Schalke will have a way worse time. And also the same way we say we played bad against Schalke, Fnatic can say the same against SK.
Got it.
So I think they still have something to give, and I think Fnatic is not going to be heavy favorite, but I think I would still bet on them if I had to.
Got it. jankos.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fnatic actually looked particularly good yesterday, but I don't think Schalke looked good today. I just think we played very bad, and I think that Fnatic was pretty decisive yesterday. I mean, they were inting so hard, but they were also decisive in like their victories. So I feel like Schalke likes to int it too, and I feel like they will probably like Fnatic's better than Tifa. I think they have better players, and I think that the drafts they showed yesterday would be strong against Schalke in particular. And like grabbz mentioned, I think if they go red side and they make sure top lane doesn't int, which is people like Broken Blade matchup. If that matchup doesn't int, I feel like Upset and Hylissang are actually really good dual lane, and they will most likely get advantage against Neon and Limit, exactly.
He just played.
So I think that I mean, I would probably give it to Fnatic, but I also respect them more, and I also think that they're like I mean, it's just Fnatic. It's not like, I mean, after today, Schalke is like, yeah, whatever. But basically, I think Fnatic is a playoff team that you would expect to be at least top 3. And this is why I'm kind of biased towards them. And I also feel like the players in theory should perform better on stage. But after today, I'm in no position to say anything because we are so boosted.
Get what you mean. If I had time, I'd ask fans at home whether or not jankos actually knows the names of his opponents or not. We don't. Guys, congratulations on the win. Thank you so much again for a fantastic, candid interview. Best of luck getting them back on track for next week. That does it from us here in Berlin, but across the Atlantic, today's LCS matchup between Evil Geniuses and TSM is already underway. I believe TSM might be winning, so be sure to tune in right now. Before we go, I want to give one more huge thank you to Treats and to Crownshot, who joined us for this incredible series on the Analyst Desk. We'll be back tomorrow at 4:30 for Ready Check. Between Rogue and Mad Light, I'm tired. Bye. No more monologues. I'm done. It's not my fault. It's not real.
You said it is. You said it is.
Oh.